Facebook is rolling out a new mobile payment service through its Messenger app. It requires a one-time debit card setup, and it won't work with credit cards or with PayPal. Now, Facebook says it is only designed for peer-to-peer use, not for businesses. It's similar to other mobile payment apps like PayPal's Venmo, Square Cash, and Snap Cash. Now, the difference with Facebook is that you are already connected to your network of friends, which can make transfers a little bit easier. Now, for more on Facebook's new venture, CNN contributor Nick Thompson joins us live from New York. And Nick, so we can now send money to our pals over Facebook Messenger. It's great for splitting that bar tab or paying a friend back. But, you know, how significant a development really is this?
Well, it's a pretty significant development for the mobile payments competition. I mean, this is one of the hottest areas of competition in Silicon Valley and elsewhere, as you've described. And suddenly, one of the biggest players is getting in, and it could squash a number of the medium to large companies out there. It could be a very big thing. It also could be a very big thing for Facebook, right? What Facebook isn't looking for is they're not looking to take a cut of every transaction. They're not looking to make money directly off of this. What they're thinking is that passing money to friends is a really important thing we do. We do it all the time online. Why don't we just do it inside of Facebook and then look at Facebook ads more often and open Facebook more often? So they're just trying to make Facebook more useful to people. They don't actually have to take a cut. That gives them a huge economic advantage. So could be interesting for Facebook. Could be very interesting for Facebook's competitors in this.
Now, from Hong Kong, got to point out this, that peer-to-peer payments are pretty old hat in China. I mean, WeChat users have been able to do it for years already. So why has it taken Western tech companies so long to catch up?
I think it's more of a question of how China was able to get so far ahead in it. You know, it took a little while because there's a lot of concern among these companies about the things that we're always concerned about with money. We're concerned about hacking. We're concerned about privacy. We're concerned about tying very private things into social networks, which are constantly trying to make us make things more public. In addition, one of the reasons why in China and elsewhere in the world why this is done so well is that the real problem it solves is international payments. So places where there are a lot of people in a large diaspora sending money back home, this is an incredibly useful thing. Saves a lot of friction that exists right now. So maybe that's one reason why China got out ahead of the U.S. on this.
Now, in the world of mobile payments, do you think social messaging apps will win out because that's it, they're social, because the network is already there?
You know, it's funny, right? When you first hear that Venmo will show that you spent, you know, $12, will show that you spent money on pizza last night or gave money to somebody else for an Uber, the first time you hear about that, it sounds like the dumbest thing in the world. Why would anybody want their financial transactions shared with a social network? It just seems crazy, or at least to an old fogey like me. But then you start to use it, and you realize, oh, actually, it's kind of fun. It adds sort of a little spirit to financial transactions. So I do think there is a social element to money that I would never have predicted is there. But having seen it, I do think it can work. I do think it can work in Facebook. And yes, absolutely. It will tie into your social networks, both because of the social element and because that's where we are. That's where we spend our time. So our social networks are going to take over lots and lots of businesses over time, right? We've actually kind of seen this with phones, right? Phones came along. They were used for calling people. And now you do everything on your phones because it's the device you use all the time. You can almost make a parallel to social networks. They started to connect us with friends. And now, because it's where we spend our time, it'll take over business after business after business after business. So I'll watch this one very carefully for that reason.